Hey, welcome, no, but welcome back from SAF. What we are health. How have you been?
Been good, man. How are you? Hey guys.
You've been
You guys are doing great.
Yeah, we're doing well. Moving forward with life.
Yeah, this comes out with our logo.
Yes, with our logo, man.
Nice.
We made
That's
our
nice.
own card.
It's nice.
Seriously, you don't even see his card. And his good to have you. Elijah Joseph.
I'm cool.
Oh, it's been your week.
Elijah's been flashing flowers, selling flowers.
What's happening?
Just confusing the enemy.
That is serious confusion.
My guy.
Hey,
Man, do I remember how to play cards? I don't know.
we have pick twos. We
have pick twos?
No pick threes. Pick threes are more
Yeah.
bad, man.
Hey.
You get booklets. What? This is flowers.
I'm picking early.
Very early like this. I think I have all the keys. So today I wanted us to speak on a few things. One being social media, and then the second being life of a creative, but outside of like work. Because I've seen that very many creatives, especially again in the Christian circles, outside of of their laptop, necessarily there's no development there, which I think is important, even for their work. Because I've gone on to learn that it's not just about the work. You've got to know how to network. You've got to know how to sell, market yourself, not just in the laptop. So those are a few of the things I would want us to talk about, and I would like to start from like where you've come from in like that social media field. Like you've paved your own path there, right? And I'm sure it has taken long to do that.
Yeah.
Just speak on that.
Well, this too was for him.
It was for you.
Can't I pick?
You picked, yeah?
So, you there. Aha.
This is not the
Hey, that's for giving flowers without our consent. Well, for social media, I think it's been over 4 years since I actually like got into social media from a professional perspective, and also like take it too serious. And the most important thing for me has been trying to define my brand, my personal brand there, who I am, who I want to be known for, and stuff like that. So over the years, over the time, it's been quite interesting because it has its own hullabaloos, but ups and downs and what.
The roasting.
The roasting comes, but you have to grow the skin. So recently, a gentleman said something that social media is not for adult infants.
Yeah.
So that is how social media is. Like you can't put or bring your emotions into that space, because everyone is tweeting or posting from their own kind of experience and perspective and understanding of things. Sometimes it's shallow. Of course, Dennis Mukungu has abused some people. You're thinking capacity is as shallow as a teaspoon. So
It's classic.
yeah, like that's how it is. So everyone comes from their different backgrounds to share what they feel they should share. When they feel the only way to grow my account is I'll just post pictures. So they post pictures, especially girls. So, but then, I mean, when I started social media, for example, my Twitter account was at 2,000 followers in 2018. And I started to grow it. I think by the end of 2020, I had already grown to over 5,000. I wasn't posting nudes. I wasn't posting myself with,
Gym working out.
what like those thirst traps.
But you threw your beard here and there.
My beard came later. My beard came later, But I had to define my brand. I wanted people to know me from how I think, what I believe in, and that's the gospel, of course. So I wanted people to know me from that kind of perspective, and over the time, it's what has sold me. So people will reach out to me for certain things, for certain brand collaborations because they find my content clean.
Yeah.
I was having a chat recently with some brand and they were looking for someone whose brand is clean, whose social media account is clean. And you're not engaged in this, even the battles that we choose to fight, like we're very selective. If someone comes after a church or a minister of God, I will fight. If someone comes after another married man, there I have no say because it's not my business. It's not my business.
You don't find it there.
So because I'll just laugh, just laugh of the comments, just laugh of the tweets.
You've
because
got to pick your fights.
I have to pick my fights because at the end of the day, it has repercussions. Yeah.
Because that's one thing I've noticed that I've struggled with whenever I look at social media is that if someone today is posting about a bank X, tomorrow they're in some completely off topic. I'm like, how is that? How aren't you hurting your clients from that point of view?
Also depends. If the client might want such people. There is a gadget guy. He gets influencers who like post random shit. I'm like, like how do you mean? Like how does this person represent your brand? Like when you go there, this people represent you online. Then I told him, okay, let's go to, can't mention names, but went to the account that he was paying to influence for him, and the content they were posting didn't look like the person who owns the brand. First of all, they were Christian. The people were, I was like, I also can't work with you.
No, that's the thing. I think recently also there was an experience where we were trying to look out for someone who can actually speak the brand. Now there is a friend who tweeted, and she was talking about like people defining their niche of content. Now defining the niche of content is okay, but she sort of buried it on the side of when you define your niche of content, then it will be easy for probably gig plugs to pick you for something like that. But then I was like, we've been at this gig thing for quite some time, over 3 years. We know how gigs are supplied on the timeline. So it's either your friend or you probably your drunk mates. That's how they pick. You've either worked for a brand, no qualifications, no nothing. So it's either your brand or someone you worked with for a long time. Like it's in the circles. You either join the circle or you're not. I can have the numbers that are good enough for a brand, but because I don't sit with another person on a table to drink Guinness, they won't pick me. So it's not like we're going to define our niche of content and then grow our influence and then get gigs just like that. That's not how it works apparently. But most of the time I think people just need to understand, like, also to be patient. Like I'm not going to wash someone's feet that Jesus didn't send me to because I want to get a gig of 200,000 at the end of the day, and that money is gone. Sometimes people also do some of the craziest things just to get gigs. Of course, we've seen people with accusations. Hey, she slept with a gig plug, but those things happen. But how about a boy child? Where do you start from? So it's in the personal brand. You grow yourself, you grow to matter, to be of value, and make sure that at the end of the day, if someone is going to pick you, they know that you're going to add value to the brand.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Let's first get back here. Where are we?
That's about me.
Is it me playing?
Yeah. That's very interesting. Back to me, Elijah. First pick some. Why you have some?
Elijah. My guy. We told you.
But I think another thing I would like to talk about is in terms of, like you've hinted on it before, in terms of content. Elijah had an interesting text some time back when we were having a discussion about how social media should not necessarily be just posting the result, is it? You need to show what
Build in public.
How would you look at that side of content?
Well, for me as a creative, because the has a different perspective, like it's their job. But then here, I think like for me to like start from behind and then come back in front. So one, I think, you know how they say that work-life balance? That this is your work, probably you're a designer or you're a video editor, you're a photographer, And then sort of like work outside that life is social media.
Yeah.
And I read an article recently that sort of like tarnished that mindset in my head. And the guy said that there is actually no work-life balance. I think it was either Ian or Chega. And he said it's life. Life has work, and work is life. Like you can't separate that two. And so when it comes to say, okay, social media is like my chill side, I have fun, and then work is different. I think you tend to like sort of like either compete with the two, and you don't find out joining them. So then for me, when it comes to me, I'm like, my life is with creative design, the gospel, etc, etc. So that's who I'm going to show online. I'll comment about designs that maybe I liked or I didn't like, or a new phone that was released. And I'm trying to give the impression there of my brand that I'm a person who enjoys design. I enjoy the gospel,
I enjoy tech.
I enjoy tech, and that's me, that's my life. And so if someone wants to reach out to me, number one, they're going to know who I am by what I post and what I don't post, who I engage with and what I engage with. So I look at it as it's like my life. It's not work and life. It's life. You can't avoid it.
Anything different on that?
I think it's important for everyone to like define priorities. Work. Right now, it's social media is work. For example, on my side, social media is work. So, in everything I'm going to do, it's going to involve social media. So, people could actually ask me, "Oh, why are you always on?" It's my work. You know. So, but at the end of the day, I must also prioritize myself in the whole mixture of things. So I have my life to I have my life to live away from social media. That's why people that follow me or people that know me will barely see certain content from me. Like I could go to the most random places or even the nicest of places, but not still be able to post a picture from there. If I post, that is like in one quarter,
in a blue moon.
once in a blue moon. Why? Because I want to tell people that yes, this is social media, but I also have a personal life that I don't want to invite people into unless I really, really treasure you or actually you have a place with me. So
I think that's a very mature place for people to understand separating the things because you're not at liberty to share everything. Like you are liberty, but like it's your choice. You should choose if you want to post your personal life or not.
Exactly. Like I mean, someone will wake up like we know everything about their day. We know everything about their life. We know what they ate in the morning. We know what they ate in the afternoon. We know who they met. We know where they were in the evening. Like you can actually really tag. You know, someone is probably traveling to a maybe up country, and then you post a picture of your receipt in a global bus, a global bus with a number plate. If someone is to actually tag you, like in those weird countries, like that's a security compromise. Someone can just tag you and kill you if they want to.
But again, there's an aspect of people building. Like social media is a profile that you give people. It's an impression you want people to think of you. May not be in the global bus. They're actually home. But I want to make you think that I'm actually traveling. But I may travel like 3 months ago and I forgot to post it. And they post it. Because as human beings, and I think in our lives, always create a profile of in our lives. The profile you have of your friends, the profile you have of your parents, the profile you have of people at work. And so like everyone has this different understanding of who you are.
There's some gentleman who said some time back that the people that actually work out in the gym don't take pictures.
I remember someone.
Yes. So that's where the whole Mark. Is this a spades or flower? Spades. Wapi. So like that's how many people are. Like they want to give a certain impression, but then in the whole grand scheme of things, sort of lose themselves to appease or try to settle in or be accepted in the whole society of social media, and then they end up losing their own sense of character and value and identity, and before you know it, they compromise.
That's very interesting. Let's finish the first
You guy.
thing.
You guy, you don't want to.
Actually, you didn't win. You didn't take card. You didn't take card.
We go again.
Hey,
Alright.
Actually,
I think you
have
skipped
picked
me.
two?
Yes.
Yeah, pick.
I think it's Mark.
It's you now.
It's now
me,
Yeah. I've picked.
Man, you guys.
You don't have to
have
finish.
So you
Come back.
No, got a man. Spade. I mean hands.
Jesus.
whatever he's not saying, you play what you want.
Whatever I want. Whatever I want.
Yeah. I made a mistake there.
Shall we finish?
Yeah. Mark, are you kawa?
Kawa.
Are you kawa, Mark?
Kawa.
Cha. Play again, man of God. Mark.
First pick.
What? This is
Pick
the
you
spade.
Nothing.
Nothing.
The flower is so small here. Should increase the pixels.
You brought a spade again, you guy. Pick and play. Okay, let's go.
You know what card?
No one.
No, he's still on. Hey! Jesus.
As you were saying,
As I was saying.
handling life outside.
So like, one thing I would want us to touch on, and I think it's the one of the sensitive
In the meantime, we can start counting.
And, from winner to what gospel is this?
Yes,
Bygones, be bygones.
But with the win there.
So let it be on record. First game.
That's my language.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. But like, what I wanted us to talk on also is where is the place now, especially I've seen things like Christian influencers and stuff like that, but where is the place? I think there's one thing that we miss on social media, and that is, okay, I don't know if it will ever happen, but like empathy. It's just violence after violence. Like guys are just out to have them every day. You're there like, what's happening now? Like yesterday,
Can catch strays.
you just can and you catch a stray out of nowhere. Like, where do we create that sense of empathy? Is it all just a game that people are fussing about online, and then when they're offline there's actually love? Where is that love, that empathy for people online?
But empathy is there sometimes. Just because it's rare. Violence is more common than empathy.
Empathy is there when you're sick and you post pictures.
Yeah.
Until they tell you to kill yourself and give it to your family.
Yeah, like, can we get to that place? Is it up to us, let's say as Christian influencers, to drive that home, or is it just a game that we play?
What I think with empathy and social media, emotions and stuff, I think it comes back to people. Like, how do you relate, or how do they relate? And the fact that, like I had said or mentioned earlier, that people come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So with that, people choose how to relate with others, depending on their, for example, current experience. Now, yesterday, someone comes on my tweet and they're like, you obviously don't look good in pink.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm very proud of you. You actually know me that well. So she realizes I am not at the level where she thinks I am.
By your reply.
By my reply. Because she thought I was going to contend, fight what, because these very many people don't think rationally. And by the time we are at that level where people actually just respond out of emotion, then we're going to lack empathy.
Yeah.
Because I can see a picture of someone probably like maybe going through something.
Yeah.
Or trying to even like get attention from someone for some help or something.
Yeah.
That's okay. But then you'll find another person under the same tweet with mentions, they're advertising their own business. You get and you're like, okay, this person needs help. So because this tweet actually has the engagement and very many people are giving it a lot of traffic, so that's when you feel the need to advertise your business. That's not empathetic. So people are very selfish.
Yeah.
And it comes back to us as creatives, Christian people who preach the gospel. Can we do that the best way possible? Like in any matter or in any sense, can we give people the hope that they need, so that if at any point something like that comes, we're able to respond And that also comes back to a very important issue that very many Christians on the timeline are quiet. Or some that are not quiet, they are compromised. So they can go to church, but then they won't feel bad to stand and pause with a bottle of alcohol. Yeah, they are compromised, so they don't know their identity is conflicted already. So they don't know where to start from. Whether we should serve violence or we just stay put and just wait for that moment when the timeline is quiet and then push my gig.
Let's get some flowers. Everybody started asking.
Yeah, flowers there.
That's such a profound thing, because you have to draw a line.
Yes.
You have to get to the point where you say, I can't do this because of my morals, and I think that's the thing we're actually lacking, is that
People are
values and
they're very
character.
conflicted in identity, and that's the problem. So that's where we find ourselves.
Yeah, and you mentioned something very important, which is going to take us to the next point of now, like the Christian creatives being quiet. Like, why is it? Are we afraid to take on our responsibility? Is it because we feel outnumbered? What do you think about that?
I think it's fear of rejection. Like, listen, easy job.
Yes, sir.
Because it's sort of like, I can't speak for everyone, but there's some people who are afraid of being identified as Christian, born again.
Or born again.
So they just be there, like they tag Nobat on the tweet. They won't reply, they'll just tag Nobat, so Nobat
Come and
replies.
respond.
Come on,
Nobat. When you need someone.
So there's that fear of like, maybe what will my friends say if they see me like posting Panero?
But that's true.
But there's also the second place of, do I want to be known as a Christian or as a creative? Because the friend I have,
a Christian,
and he was like, I post my church content every day. And I post my work content. Yet, like at work, I'm being productive, and like people look me up, and all they see is Panero devotion. You get, so they're like, either I decide to go this side of like post my church content, or I post my work content, because I'll confuse the other people at work will sort of like not deem me as respectable because they saw.
But I would beg
so it's
to
a point of maturity where you actually reach a point where I really don't care what you think, but this is who I am, and they should accept you as you are.
Because I beg to differ, because when you look at, when you look at the most followed person on Instagram, Ronaldo, when you look at his posts, it's not always football. Yeah, he has football, then he has his brands, then the gym inside, his family, all in one. It's not like he has Cristiano family, Cristiano food. It's one thing, and it allows him to amass different audiences, right?
Yes.
Like different audiences will go for his gym board, maybe mostly ladies. Then you have the football where it comes to relate with us.
Have you seen people who usually have like 2 accounts?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, would you prefer that? Is that what the person
That's
is
just
for?
confusion.
But what Elijah says is very true, because I've seen, like, there are people that we started influencing for the gospel with very many years ago, and then over time they lost track, or they went off the track because they found deeper pleasure maybe in posting work or anything, or being more active in the work than the gospel. And that is what I had mentioned earlier about priorities. Like someone setting a priority. God is my top priority. Whatever thing I'm going to do, if it doesn't have God in the center, then I'm not for it. Whether you're going to pick me or not, as long as I have God on that timeline, it's okay. If I might not have to post a scripture every day, but I'll say something that will provoke you to know that you actually need God. I'll say something that will actually tell you that it's not. Somebody yesterday was like, okay, so single people, how do you go to hospital when you are sick at night? And I'm like, we don't fall sick. Like there is that possibility of someone not falling sick. I'm not falling sick for the past, I don't know how many, 10 plus years. And it's not that I don't respect the people that fall sick. I respect you in your emotions and feelings, but then there is a higher life to it. So if someone probably picks a tantrum about that and be like, this guy is showing off, I can't give him a gig, I don't care. I mean, I've not been eating off social media for all my life. So it's someone just has to define their priorities. What is my goal? What is my priority? who is at the center of my life. And that's the most important thing of all things. So if I have God at the center, then anything else can fall apart, anything else can join that cart and join my life for the good. So if I don't want, I mean, Jesus was okay dying, not married.
Yeah, me, that's no
Hot checks.
Who be that?
to be you. Maybe finally, before we move on,
That's sweet.
thing has got you.
Yeah, because I'm being that touch in myself. But again, I think it's a point of like you reach and you're like spiritually mature to a point where God can keep you. Because that person might not be able to define their priorities and their identity.
But that is already faltering. Like if you
Faltering,
can't,
Heaven is not going to judge you.
Heaven is not going to judge you.
Yeah,
but then,
but-
you see, Elijah, you have accountability
Yeah, which I
to
agree.
yourself, to God, and the purpose upon your life.
I agree. But
Yes.
I'm trying to say what you're saying is right.
Yes.
It just needs a certain level of spiritual maturity.
Yes, not very many people can get to that because I mean, we've seen, Mark, we've seen people like you see someone that you pray with at the same church, and then you're like, yeah, and not to judge. Of course, we're all a work and work in progress, but then there are some things that you see and be like, nada, here, So at the end of the day, everyone has to grow to that place, whether you like it or not. And the fact that spiritual maturity is a choice, whereas growth is mandatory, you either choose to grow into that maturity or circumstances of life actually come and then they choose to grow you into that place. So the earlier the better. If you make the choice, you will appreciate the process. But if you don't and then situations come and they tend to grow you into that place, you won't like that process because it will be hard. You will never be prepared for it. It will just be blows and blows and blows and blows.
The problem
before
is
you
you're
know-
also held to high standards. That this guy is a Christian. You see him liking a pic of it.
you have to be careful on that.
like so and so like and you're like, hey, this is the guy.
Self-control is a fruit of the spirit.
Auntie Carol, I'm tell you.
Just appreciate and
You
move
made
on.
and
Scroll,
then the
scroll.
TL brings out receipts, bring out screenshots.
Yesterday, someone brought a photo from like 5 years back on someone. I was like,
Was this you?
Right? But
So there's also that fear of being held to standards of. That guy is a Christian.
there is holding you to standards, but there is also you being compromised in your thought. So if you bring receipts of me liking a pic of years ago, or even if I liked a pic today, why would you judge me for it?
Yeah.
Is it something that you've never done?
That's this person won't understand.
They won't understand it. Okay.
So we can't even discuss
Now,
them.
what matters there at that point is the truth in your heart. That's what sets you free.
To just be like, God is working in me.
Even if God is
even
not
need to
working in
respond
you,
to
I don't need to respond. If I like the pic of maybe maybe Lori Harvey on a yacht in a bikini, like I like the pic. It's nice.
we
You
move.
see, this is the thing. This is the thing I want Christians. What I want Christians to understand, that we are spirit beings with souls living in a body.
Meaning,
You like it or not, Kasuja, you were taught about puberty. You were taught about adolescence when you were growing up. Your body has reactions, and those reactions, in a sense, were brought in there by God. So you shouldn't feel bad if you see someone and you actually appreciate, oh, this is God's beauty. Like I shouldn't condemn myself about it. You get?
yeah,
Because
you shouldn't. But
then if you don't, you'll start living in denial, and before you know it, you start hiding. That's what people who watch porn
Yeah.
do. They are living in denial of their probably body
what
reactions.
you're saying is, define yourself on your priorities. If you fall,
You fall unto the Lord.
you fall to God.
Like at the end of the day, you just got to work on yourself, and obviously there's responsibility. We can't judge like the fact that we're Christians. We have a responsibility to uphold, but sometimes you falter. you falter sometimes, and if you're going to condemn yourself, trust me, you're going to find it hard to pick yourself up the next day and post. Everybody has those mistakes.
So you shouldn't feel bad.
Who said it's me?